streets of Orange County have been taken over by cats. We'll take a look at the cat crisis in Santa Ana.
And from Hollywood Boulevard, what is it like for international filmmakers to be recognized in LA's booming film industry?
We'll get to hear from two fashion designers who went from being homeless to owning one of the hottest streetwear brands.
I'm Jared Formanek.
And I'm Sophie Bobal.
And this is StreetSmart. Welcome to StreetSmart, where we keep you up to date on all the happenings around Los Angeles and beyond.
First, we're off to Santa Ana, where the masters of StreetSmart reside.
We'll dive into an issue that some people view as highly controversial, the spaying and neutering of street cats.
My co-host Jared takes a closer look.
Tucked away in alleyways, under cars, and in the hidden nooks and crannies of Orange County are cats, lots of cats. From Newport Beach to Costa Mesa to Santa Ana, if you go just about anywhere in the county, finding feral cats on the streets is almost too easy. According to Orange County Animal Services, the true number of feral or community cats is more than 93,000. However, this number is just an estimate, and the reality is that this figure is probably much higher, because no one really knows how many cats are living in the shadows. Romina Yamashiro is an independent cat trapper in Santa Ana.
Oh, hey Gracie. Hi Mama. That's Gracie, that's one of them. Hi Mama.
She says part of the problem is that many people don't believe they need to get their pet cats spayed or neutered.
When you don't fix those cats that are outdoor, they will reproduce. So it's kind of like a snowball effect. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
When cats reproduce, the numbers can be staggering.
Here in Southern California, cats can reproduce between 3 to 4 times a year, and each cat can have about 5 to 7 kittens at a time. So if, let's say, 5 or 4 of those kittens are female, then you start doing the math. It's a lot of cats.
Romina believes the solution to controlling the overpopulation of feral cats is something called TNR.
TNR stands for Trap, Neuter, and Return, where we actually trap street cats, we vaccinate them, we get them fixed, neuter or spayed, and then we return them at the location where we found them.
Southern California's climate offers an ideal environment for cats to thrive outdoors. However, policies in Orange County specifically allow overpopulation to become an issue throughout its cities.
The problem with having such nice weather, cats reproduce a lot more, and there's a lot less fatalities, so the population just really grows. And when the county itself doesn't provide any services to help, and to help with TNR and manage the cat population, it's really hard to get that under control.
While the weather in Southern California is generally sunny, rainstorms do occasionally happen, which can mean the difference between life and death for cats with babies. And there's a lot of baby kittens out there. Anaheim resident Chloe, who didn't want us to use her last name, recently saved 4 kittens from a rainstorm.
I had been taking care of a mom cat for about 3 weeks. One day I came back, she clearly not pregnant anymore, and she was sopping wet because it was raining outside. And I was like, well, the kittens are somewhere, and they're probably wet. Got the kittens, brought them inside. They were kind of wet, so dried them off. She came back, I ate more food, left the babies. So realized that she'd abandoned those 3, and I was like, well, I guess I'm a mother of 3.
One of the biggest problems with Orange County and the lack of support is that in 2019, they stopped a program called Return to Field. Return to Field is similar to TNR, where the county or the county shelter will collect the street cats, they will fix them, and then they will return them.
Orange County discontinued their TNR program in 2019 after animal rights activists argued that it was inhumane to release animals back to the streets.
The council, meaning the lawyers for the county, they say that TNR violates what's called California Penal Code 597S, which is the law for abandonment, which if you have a cat or any animal and you leave them, you abandon them without food, water, or shelter, is considered abandonment and is punishable by the penal code. The only problem with that is there's no distinction between cats or community cats or with actual owned pets.
You might think, well, if you caught these cats, why would you just let them go again? But it's because feral cats are not easy to socialize. A lot of times, even for the rest of their lives, no matter how hard you try, they're just not interested in being around people. And so they're going to be much happier and healthier if you just sort of let them do their thing, which is why you neuter them. It's because when you put them back outside, they're not reproducing, they're not creating a larger problem.
So usually just give them dry food and some wet food.
We need to keep having TNR. TNR is something that it has to happen. Gets hooked right here. There's like a little trigger plate.
Independent trappers who pay out of their own pockets to do TNR, such as Romina, are Orange County's main line of defense against overpopulation.
We're doing the work that the shelter should be doing. We're helping the private residents to get their cats spayed and neutered. We are the ones taking the owner surrenders. We are the ones taking the pregnant mama with their kittens, getting them spayed and neutered and vaccinated and adopted, which is a lot of cost.
It's very expensive to spay and neuter cats. I know ballpark estimate for a female cat is about $300 to $500, and for a male cat's about $200.
Low cost and no cost spay and neutering services. They have them in LA County, they have in San Diego County, Riverside, Ventura County, except for Orange County. Orange County is the only county in California that does not have those resources.
With a lack of TNR in Orange County, officials are resorting to euthanizing large numbers of cats, but Romina says that euthanization is not the answer.
People have said that trap and euthanize is one way to do it, which it doesn't work. Once you euthanize the cats, for example, in a community, in a colony, you can euthanize all those cats, but more cats are gonna move in.
Bye. Where are you going?
Advocates like Yamashiro and Chloe say anyone can help control the cat overpopulation by calling their representatives and city council.
Those people have to get reelected somehow. Make it a priority. Say, this is something that the community cares about. So either you get on board or you don't get reelected.
Feral cats, so they were born in the streets, that's all they know. And that's why it's super important to make a distinction within the California Penal Code that will allow the counties to have TNR programs. Write to the Orange County supervisors, write to the city council, write to the mayor, and everybody that you can think of, send them an email. Tell them that we need a shelter that helps with TNR. TNR needs to be part of every single city and county in America.
Advocates say fixing Orange County's overpopulation of feral cats begins with supporting TNR.
Thanks, Jared. Orange County residents might have to get used to sharing the streets with these four-legged friends. That is, if this surge in cat population increases. Back north, foreign films are breaking through in Hollywood. And Southern California might seem like the perfect place for international film students to develop wonderful talent. Over in Hollywood, Ryan Deeb has more.
This is Hollywood Boulevard, one of LA's most famous tourist destinations.
So that's why I'm here, because I know Hollywood because of films.
I live in Santa Monica, but I love Hollywood.
We all grew up watching Hollywood back where I'm from, so.
Down the boulevard is this year's Oscars red carpet setup, where production crews are lined up for the biggest award night in film. In light of recent criticism towards the lack of diversity within the Academy and its nominees, members created a plan to boost the number of women and people of color in the entertainment industry by 2025.
I'm here at the Academy Awards, otherwise known as the White People's Choice Awards.
Americans are demanding representation in television and film. Inclusivity has taken center stage despite lingering challenges in Hollywood. Chapman University professor Nam Lee is a former film critic and journalist originally from South Korea. She says that awards are an important way of recognizing different cultures.
It's the exposure. So the more American audiences are exposed to foreign films, the more they get interested.
Since Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon won 4 Academy Awards in 2000, foreign language films have steadily made their way into the US spotlight.
I think Oscar is a very powerful influence in introducing foreign films. They always had International Feature Film Award, but now foreign language films are being nominated for the Best Picture.
This year, Japanese film Drive My Car was the latest international movie to get nominated for Best Picture. Though it didn't win, it was still recognized by winning Best Foreign Film.
Drive My Car, Japan! Yes!
Last year, Chinese-born filmmaker Chloe Zhao won the Best Picture title for Nomadland. And in 2020, Bong Joon-ho's Parasite made history at the Academy Awards.
And the Oscar goes to Parasite.
Parasite has 6 Academy Award nominations and is the first film not in the English language to win Best Picture.
These award-winning films make for big headlines and also bring a unique perspective to the Hollywood film industry.
It's just about having a cultural understanding and that curiosity to understand different worlds.
Kabir Khurana from Mumbai, India, is a student director and third-generation filmmaker. He feels it is important for audiences to see films that portray different points of view throughout the world.
Just to show people other ways of being, show them new possibilities, new ways of seeing their life, and you open your mind up to those possibilities, you get out of the space of right and wrong, you know. Our moral compass kind of expands and becomes more inclusive towards different ways that people live their lives.
Some international students feel that language and cultural barriers prevent them from collaborating with American students. Kabir recognizes students like himself may not have equal opportunity in comparison to their American peers.
As someone from another culture, I will be pigeonholed into making films only about Indian people in America, you know, South Asian sort of communities. And I don't want to do that.
Action! Eduardo Novello is over 6,000 miles away from his home in Venice, Italy, going to film school to study directing. Italy has a history of Oscar recognition for most Academy Awards in the foreign language film category. However, Eduardo is using filmmaking to share a story from another minority culture.
We look at films as able to bring existence, as able to say more about everything. They can represent us, and they can say something more about our life, our daily routine, our society, and ourselves.
Inspired by the life of Eduardo's lead actor, Eric Park, the story exposes the difficulties that foreign actors face when auditioning for lead roles due to stereotypes.
I still don't buy it. It feels like it's not authentic enough. A bit too Occidental, maybe. Try to have a more marked Asian accent.
Well, what do you mean in specific? Do you want me to speak in Mandarin?
Yeah, definitely you get typecasted, for sure. Because they're all looking for a specific person. But, you know, you read these characteristics and, like, Americans don't think of us that way. You know, I think it's about sharing the untold story. You know, whatever ethnicity or whatever background you're from.
Of all the stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, only about 8% belong to foreigners and minorities. Kabir says he believes that the doors to Hollywood open from the inside. For international students like him and Eduardo, they're simply asking for equal opportunity at the entry. I'm Ryan Deeb, reporting.
Thanks, Ryan. Los Angeles has always been heavily defined by its TV and movie industry, but its constantly evolving fashion scene may be even more indicative of the city's culture. Tiffany Chen takes us to Melrose Avenue, where 2 designers from Toronto tell us how they turned facing homelessness into becoming the designers of a top streetwear brand repped by tons of A-list celebrities. Bella Hadid, A$AP Rocky, Gunna. You do not want to miss this rare LA success story.
Loropa is the latest trendy label emerging in the world of fashion. It is known for its streetwear staples, including hats, graphic t-shirts, and eccentric jackets.
I'm standing in Loropa in downtown LA right now, one of the hottest brands in the fashion industry. The brand has garnered a celebrity cult following, but its backstory hasn't always been this glamorous.
The founders are Jimbo Williams and Aristotle Sanchez. The two share a unique chemistry and hit it right off the bat in Toronto through their common passion for designing and creating. Not only were they companionship in artistry, but they also shared an optimistic outlook on life which helped them navigate through uncertainty.
Tell me each of your names, your age, where you're from.
Jimbo Williams, 29 years old, Toronto, Ontario.
I'm Aristotle. I'm from Toronto, Canada.
The story of Loropa begins in Toronto and ends in LA, where there is now a physical storefront. But before all the success, the pair experienced homelessness in New York when they decided to make the big move from Toronto in 2016.
I don't really remember the first night we were like, oh shit, we have nowhere to... I think we slept in the park and stayed up all night.
Yeah, it was one night where we slept in a park, in Washington Square Park to be exact.
And then we just made friends and they let us stay at their crib.
Yeah, kept making friends, kept figuring out places to sleep. It was like, we would wake up and the day was about, where are we gonna sleep tonight? Middle of winter, there's nowhere to sleep. There's no middle of the night, cold as fuck, bed-stuy, laundromat, sitting there, where are we gonna go?
The pair did whatever they could to suffice the night. The goal was just to have a roof over their head for some shut-eye. You might be wondering, how did Jimbo and Aristotle survive the cold winter nights in New York, and what kept them going each day? Two things: their positive outlook on life and passion for creating. Through the ups and downs, they never once thought about giving up.
Exactly.
Quitters never
quit.
win. Winners never quit.
Never once, there was never a time where I'm like, no, I can't do this.
Fuck this.
It was like, I
always figured it out.
I can stay outside for a night.
Yeah.
I'll stay on the subway.
While the two took the risk of leaving Toronto's glass ceiling in pursuit of their dreams, they both had loving and supporting families they could call back home.
Through our worst times, I was able to call my parents and talk to them. He's able to call his mother and talk to her. So we come from a good place. We have a support system. We don't come from nothing.
After 3 years, Jimbo and Aristotle decided to move to Los Angeles to avoid another cold winter in New York. They stayed at the Royal Pagoda Motel in Chinatown for 2 months, screen printing tees and selling them on the streets in order to cover their nightly stays.
And the hustling started kicking in because we started screen printing in the motels. But motels were lit, they don't have that in New York.
Eventually, they got a studio apartment together and began attending parties at nights in their unique outfit. The buzz about Loropa began to grow as people noticed the pair's unique sense of fashion. They quickly found themselves in the heat of their success.
We turned the place into Loropa's 24/7 experience, meaning you could come to our house anytime and shop. 24 hours. We used to be at parties, come home, and have a lineup of kids coming to just shop with us.
To leverage their brand and expand their audience, the two began using Instagram as their primary tool in selling clothing.
I like to say we were the first Instagram brands because all of this happened via Instagram.
It was simple. They would go live on Instagram and show viewers what they were selling.
On Instagram, hey guys, this is what I'm selling today. I have this, and that. And then if enough people see it, it's a numbers game, right? You have 1,000 followers. If you can get 10% of those people to look at what you're doing, 5% of that 10% has to buy something. So that's how we always look at it. It's just a numbers game.
Though the two used Instagram to garner a following and build their brand image, they both defy from being the typical LA influencer and refuse to be labeled as so.
We're real life individuals, and we're not gonna let the internet ever dictate our future or our success.
Otherwise we'd be playing influencer games.
Yeah, otherwise we'd be famous now.
As Loropa became more and more established, Jimbo and Aristotle came up with a core statement: "Pussy builds strong bones," which they printed on various clothing pieces. These 4 words, although simple when said individually, evoke a deeper meaning behind what the brand stands for. This bold phrase caught the eye of many consumers, which was the goal of the boys' feminist perspective. The t-shirt with the unique saying screen printed on it quickly became a viral sensation. Influencers were rocking the shirt everywhere, propelling La Ropa's popularity and presence in the fashion industry.
Female superiority.
Yeah, literally.
Straight up. Female, y'all are the one. Like, you're the one, there's no two. Females are the one, and without females, I wouldn't be here, he wouldn't be here, y'all wouldn't be here.
When talking about the pair's success and what distinguishes them from others who fail to pursue their dreams in LA, Jimbo and Aristotle says it all comes down to them being fly individuals.
We were always the flyest people in the room, and we always are. So it's like that. It's natural attraction.
Despite the rocky journey leading to the come-up of La Ropa, Jimbo and Aristotle never stopped believing in themselves. From the streets of Toronto to New York and LA, Jimbo and Aristotle's optimistic mindset and colorful perspective on life fueled their success as fashion entrepreneurs and ultimately helped them go from rags to swag. I'm Tiffany Chen reporting for StreetSmart.
That's all the Street Smarts we have for you today.
Thanks for tuning in to this special edition of Street Smart.
From Venice to Anaheim,
From Koreatown to Long Beach,
I'm Jared Formanek.
and I'm Sophie Bobal. We'll see you next week.